And yes, we are live here from Carrabba's Italian Grill at the Fayetteville Town Center on QSportsTalk.com. It's Gomez from Gomez and Company in the morning, along with Coach Red Autry on QSportsTalk.com as we regenerate here, Coach, and refresh. And I think last week Paulie took the old school NBA when a guy would foul and he would raise his own hand. Yep. Paulie did that. Yes,
gentlemen.
Did you play in that era? Like when you?
No. That wasn't me.
That wasn't you.
Give the foul to him.
Yeah. Anyway, welcome. If you have a question for Coach, you can put it into the stream chat. It's our final one. And while the season is going on, Coach, it's like a day by day grind. Just for you, obviously, every day there's tapes and meetings and whatever. But then all of a sudden, here it is, May 8th, and final show of the season.
Yeah, it goes by fast. Time flies when you're having fun, right?
well, it's obviously the first year for you, and you've been around it for years.
Mm-hmm.
But the first year as the head coach, is there anything looking back over the year? And it's obviously you still have the tournament coming up here, but anything over the year that even surprised you from the first year, even though you've been around it, but this is your first year as the head coach? Anything that kind of took you by a little bit by surprise?
No, I think I had Coach, just being around Coach and watching him and how he, things that he had to do and, move. I think that the biggest thing is the commitment outside of the basketball, the game,
Sure.
Different things, the preparation or being, going to different things and being asked to go to different things and be a part of different things within the community.
That's the fun stuff, though.
Oh, it is.
Normally, it's
it.
fun stuff.
No, I love it.
Fundraisers and golf tournaments and dinners or whatever it might be. That's just going to come.
Just trying to help.
Trying to help
the people
out.
that support us, and that's my way of giving back. And I love being, I'm part of this community. I raised my family here, so I raised my family here. So I'm a big part of the community.
Going right to the questions here from Coach D5. Congrats on the 20 wins and good luck in the tournament next week's, Coach. And I know you and Matt were talking a little bit about it in the first hour, and it's hard to tell about this day of the portal and who's might go in and who might not go in, but you probably don't even know at this point anyway. That's basically what the question is.
Yeah, well, they have a date. They have a date when the portal opens, and then once that date opens, the names just start filtering in. And some people went in there a little earlier, but I think most people will have the end of the season meeting and make the decisions from there, and then you decide to put their name in the portal if they're going to stay. So, you got a lot of those dynamics, and you got the people that'll put their name in the draft and then go through the process, and then maybe, come back or put their name in the portal while they're going through the process, and now they got to go. So it's a lot of different things, that portal entails, when you go in.
Another question for you, Coach. What does a typical practice look like?
Oh, it depends. But typically, we watch film. We watch film pretty much every day. And then after we watch film, we stretch, we get warmed up. Then we have our concepts, things of our offensive concepts of things that we want to look at and work on that are part of our, offensive staples and things like that. And
Sure.
then after that, we get out and we start working on our spacing and transition, work on some secondary stuff. And then we go to our vitamins, which we call our vitamins, which we break down things that we need to work on. And then after we do our vitamins, it depends. It could be the scout, it could be something else, but we get after it, and then after that, we start breaking down, our offense and our defense again, going live.
Quick question here from Steve. What can be done to give Malik some help covering the other team's bigs? I don't know. Obviously, that's an issue in the game against Clemson with P.J. Hall. It's just a load. I mean, just a bunch of guys like that.
Yeah, I mean, P.J. scored 25 against North Carolina. I mean, he's that good. But I think when you talk about post defense, I think anything. When you're playing against some guys that are really, really good, it's not a one-on-one battle. It's our team, and I think, for Malik, I think we got to, he has to do a job of moving his feet, trying to get around, and which he does, trying to get around, trying to find it. Then once the ball is in there, I think we got to build a wall a little bit better and work with some different concepts of being able to help him out a little bit. But, I think trying to push them out, and I think we have to be able to pressure the ball on the outside to make it hard to get the ball inside as well.
From our source, Coach, any thoughts on getting Lemoyne back on the schedule? You know, this is their first year at D1 and a decent year for the
They've
Dolphins,
had a really
men's
good
and
year.
women's teams.
Yeah, Coach Chambers, Nate has done a really good job with them. I mean, it's definitely something that, we will look at. We will definitely look at that.
This is from Ryan. Do you think AAU helps or hurts recruiting high school basketball players?
I think it helps. Again, I think, I think it's different. It's different. Like anything, is different programs, different situations, different areas. But I think AAU helps, exposes kids to us. But we're not at everything. But it gets their name out there. It's a lot of people that play basketball now. So I think that thing helps. AAU helps for sure.
And is it easier now or harder because everybody has social media and YouTube, and they'll send you links to, hey, you got to check out this guy? Or does that make it more complicated?
I think
rather than just going to watch a kid live.
I think it depends on if I'm not a big highlight guy. I like to go and see people live, and then I believe in a certain amount of areas of basketball leagues, certain circuits. If you're part of those leagues or those circuits, that's really that kind of solidifies it for me, because you just never know. It's just you just never know when you talk about a highlight tape.
Just so you see him real time, real game situation.
Yeah, I like
anybody can edit these days. Yeah. Look pretty good.
And they never miss. You know that they never miss on those.
This one, and I don't know that you would have any as far as like scheduling, but obviously the way some teams and conferences were able to figure out the net rankings and schedule to their advantage to increase that number. Is that something that you or the school or the program would look at, or is that something beyond really what you have any input in?
No, I would have an input in. I think I think I think it's two ways to look at it. You can do it that way. I mean, but I think when you talk, for me, I'm trying to get my team ready. And obviously you want to have some of those games that that you can grow your team, but I just don't think I want to have a whole non-conference of teams that I can or you can beat by 30, 20 and 30. That's they were manipulating their numbers by playing these teams that they can beat by 30 and 40. And then again, I think you don't know how good your team is. I like the schedule that we had this year. I thought it was exciting for our fans. I thought it was exciting for our guys to go out and challenge ourselves and play against Oregon and go to Maui and play against Tennessee and go against Gonzaga, because I think now you get a real chance. You get a real look at where your team is, and I think you get a chance to work on that before you hit conference play. To be able to go and play at Georgetown with Ed Cooley, at that time they were playing well. Obviously they didn't play as well after it, but at that moment in time, that was a challenge to go on the road and play those games. So I thought it benefited our team. I thought it was exciting to see, fans, be able to wake up and say, "Oh my God, they're playing Tennessee right now." And I know our guys loved it. I think it's that's. I think it comes down to philosophies. And again, I like to challenge ourselves. I like to see where our guys are at. I like to play certain games. That's just me. But, the way I know what they're saying is, that's, again, that's not kind of what I would like to do.
Gotcha. Away there we go. From the stream chat, what are your top 3 priorities once the season officially has moved on after the tournaments and ACC and whatever comes after that? Top 3 priorities for you for moving ahead to next season.
For me or for the program?
Oh, for the team, I guess. Like like what you're looking for.
Yeah.
Or,
well, you got to figure out who's here.
Yep.
Who's not, and I think you can go from there. I think you really have to figure out who's going to be, returning, and then you got to figure out how to use, make the program and make that team better and address whatever the issues that you think you need to address? Well, I think a lot of it has to do with one. The first thing is, your roster. What is your roster going to look like?
I mean, that's the first thing, and then you can
after that,
assess whatever it is that you need.
It can be, obviously, the second thing now after that is figuring out, how to fill it, and and then the way I want to play. Now you got to fill that with guys that I want to, that can find those guys that can fit the style of play that I want to play.
This question, it's a conference question, but it wouldn't, I'm sure, be up to you. But I guess your question would be your thoughts on would you be open to a transition back to the Big East?
No comment.
Fair enough. This one here says, Coach, I'm proud of you and watched you since you played at St. Raymond's. Let me see here. Is it true that the players who are going to the portal are either from it's kind of a long question here, but they've already decided what they want to do? I mean, basically.
I think some people know if they want to go to the portal sooner than others. But I don't. I mean, again, I don't. I think they do know. Some people do. Some of these players do know if they go into the portal, if they plan on going into the portal earlier, then they actually, make that actually have to go through the process of doing it.
And there was a question, and it's kind of scrolled past for a bunch of regarding going back to the portal, but like penalties for, or is there or what the rules are for contacting anybody?
Tampering, yes.
That's the word for it.
That's the word, tampering.
And there's no contact at all.
Yeah.
Before.
You can't have that contact. No.
This from Roddy here in the stream chat. Which of the assistants is more tasked with offense, and which assistant specializes in the defense, or is it a group effort?
It's everybody. Everybody has input, but I'm the one that, I'm the one that does the offense. I'm the one that does the defense, and we do it all together. As far as I'm open to suggestions, but we don't we really break our scouts down with our coaches have scouts, and then they have a lot more input because they really dive deeply into it. But collectively, we do things collectively. I'm big in. I'm a big collaborator. I like to have input from all my coaches.
Do you ever have go into a game plan and you're pretty well set? Okay, this is what I want to do, but one of the assistants puts forth such a good conversation or argument that you've changed your mind. So you know what?
I like that. Yeah, that's happened before. Yeah, absolutely. And when we make our in-game adjustments, sometimes it may be something I may not necessarily see, and they may see something else, and we talk about it, and I said, okay. So again, I have some of the best assistant coaches
absolutely
in the country. I mean,
I 100% agree with that.
These guys are really, really good. They're a big part of the why we're able to do what we, done in the regular season. And obviously we still have a lot more to go. We plan to have a lot more to go. We plan to play some more games and win some games. But, I'm big on collaborating,
This one here, Coach, what's your favorite non-basketball sport to watch?
To watch my football,
Yeah, I know you're a big football guy.
And,
baseball,
depends.
Not as much?
I like going to the games, and I love watching baseball in October.
That's exciting. I'll give you that.
Playoff baseball. It just seems like the game moves faster for some reason. It just goes faster in the playoffs.
It's more intense, like playoff hockey. It's like every pitch matters more. Every at-bat. I mean, you're really paying attention to it.
And I can watch golf now.
Oh, you can?
I can, yeah. Before I started trying to play. Now I just watch it and just get mad.
And how good they are?
How good they are. I'm like, this is ridiculous. But that's why they do. That's why they pros.
This question here, with Fran Brown obviously coming to the football side, do you have a chance? Do you talk to him at all? I mean, do you like trade? I don't want to say ideas isn't the right word, I guess, there, but I mean, it's a different sport, but you're still both recruiting talent and looking for kids.
Well, I've talked to him. We've been busy. I think they've started up some practices, and obviously we're in the thick of our season, but we've definitely spent some time talking, but I'm sure we'll spend some more time once my season dies down.
This one here, Coach, which player on the team do you think has the biggest X factor for you guys going into next week in Washington?
I just think we just all need to play well. I mean, again, you know, some people could say Quadir, some people say Chris Bell, some people say, Kyle Cuff. We just need to play well. I don't know if we really have that X factor, but it always helps when Chris Bell is making shots, though. I will say that. So I just answered that question.
Yep.
We need Chris Bell playing well.
And coming up, two going to the tournament next week on Monday, I think is when they announce all the the conference awards. And I know there's a couple guys on your team that definitely should be considered for either Quadir, like sixth man of the year. I mean,
hands down,
right? I mean,
hands down, Quadir. In my opinion, Quadir Copeland should be sixth man of the year. I've went through most of the teams, and I don't know how he's
not the sixth
man of the year, but I'm sure we'll find out on Monday.
And I was listening on the way in, and I forgot the exact wording that the caller used to describe Quadir's play and passing, but it was accurate. Whatever it was.
It was I forgot the word he used.
It wasn't exciting. Ridiculous.
Ridiculous. Yeah, that was it. Ridiculous.
It is. It is. It is. Or Malik, or I mean, for a defensive player, I mean,
I think he could be I think he should be definitely considered first team. All defensive team. I mean, he leads the league in steals. He's, for the most part, I mean, you take away PJ and someone else, when you look at his head-to-head matches, he's typically held every big man below their average, minus PJ. And the first time we played PJ, he did hold him below his average. But it's like maybe three guys that maybe have, on a head-to-head, and but I just think what he does defensively, the steals and just being disruptive and things like that. I think he should definitely be on the all ACC first team, and again, Judah as well. Judah as well. I mean, they're both of those guys are top five in steals in our league.
And how about I don't know, Coach of the Year?
Coach of the Year. That's I mean, again, I don't know what they.
I'm just making a play for you, Coach. Yeah. I mean, it's just. I think the job that you did all year, given the first year and everything that we've talked about all year, and the season that you ended up having, I would put you right in contention.
In the conversation, I mean, I don't really look at it that way. I try to, just finish out the season, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure, but I know that the team, it depends on how they look at it. How they look at it, what they want to look at. Again, I mean, it's so many people. I mean, Hubert Davis has, done a really good job. With North Carolina. I mean, again, they at one point it didn't seem like they were going to lose a game in the conference until until lately they dropped one or two, but they've been pretty consistent all year.
So we've got some of the other questions here. Who's your March Madness sleeper?
Syracuse.
There you go. Perfect. I'm with you on that.
There you go.
This one here, Coach, thanks for doing this all season. And this is just a fun aspect of the Coaches Show, is the nighttime Q&A here, and it's exclusive to Q Sports Talk. The question is, in your mind, do you think, as a first-year head coach, that did you have a more difficult situation compared to other first-year coaches, all things considered, or easier than other first-year coaches?
I think that depends on
what coach you're talking about, I suppose.
Yeah. The one thing I'll say is I thought I was very fortunate enough to inherit a good roster. Obviously is, I thought, being able to return all our freshmen that played last year, and then being able to bring in, J.J. Starling was huge. To be able to bring in Naheem McLeod and to be able to add, Kyle and Chance, even though, a couple of those guys didn't get a chance to play this year. I thought, at the end of the day, I thought we had be able to retain them and bring back, a lot of the people that played the year before. Because even that record, we lost a lot of games close. So a lot of those guys got a chance to play, and I think they were sophomores, but they had some experience. So I was very fortunate to be able to retain those guys and bring them back.
And speaking of the youth of your team, obviously with majority being sophomores, I was watching the Clemson game, and for Clemson, it was their senior night. And how many guys were out there holding up jerseys? You talk about a team with upperclassmen.
Unfortunately, all the guys that had 20 points.
Right? I mean, there were a lot of guys, a lot of seniors on the Clemson team.
PJ Joe, I think Chance, and the kid Ian Shufflin. I think all those 4 were seniors. I could be missing one, but I think they have 4 or 5 seniors.
See, this one, it has to do with next year's incoming class, but there's not much you could probably say anyway.
Talented. Looking forward to it.
This one here, but about Coach, if you have Malik and Chris in one of the incoming recruits next year for your front line, or will there be a big space for a big center?
I mean, I think people forget, and I know it's Naheem McLeod has another year. We have a 7-1, freshman that's redshirting right now, and Peter Carey's still here. So we have a roster. We just didn't have a roster of healthy, bigs.
Yeah.
That's what happened this year. We didn't have a chance, and I think it's funny. People were really hard on Naheem in the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
He was playing 15 minutes, 16 minutes a game. And he was giving us about 3 blocks a game, about 4 or 5 rebounds and 4 or 5 points in 15 minutes. And it allowed us to be able to play big and small, but he was a presence for us for the time that he was on the court. So again, you get him healthy and you get some other people healthy, it's exciting for that position next year.
And watching him when I go to the games, and obviously the last part of the season, him being on the bench watching, he is so enthusiastic, and he's just got the biggest grin on his face. Anytime you see that kid, even when he had his foot in the boot and whatever he was doing that he had to do to get back healthy again. But talk about just a kid with a great team attitude.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. No, he's entertaining.
Is he?
He is entertaining. Yes. Naheem is entertaining.
If you were, who would be like the top 3 most entertaining guys on the team if you put him in there, obviously? Who else would you put in there?
I think everyone knows who number 1 is. Right? We all know who Quadir Cole, it's Quadir, not even close. Yeah. But we got some interesting guys, Kyle Cuff, Chance, those guys are interested too.
Do any of them do? I know for years, obviously, guys would do Coach Boeheim impressions, and they got pretty good at it. Does anybody do that?
I haven't seen it yet, but I'm sure they do. I'm sure they do. They haven't done it in front of me yet, but I'm sure they do. That's a good one to ask those guys when you get them. I'm sure they do.
Well, I tell you what, Coach, I think we'll start wrapping this up here. And thanks all season. It's just been a lot of fun doing this on QSportsTalk.com. And thanks to everybody for chiming in with the questions and the comments here. And good luck. You go down, what day do you head down to Washington?
We head down on Monday, I believe.
And you'll find out Saturday night, obviously the seating and where you guys are and who you'll be playing. And go Orange and best of luck. And you keep winning, we keep calling.
Thank you.
That's
I appreciate it. Thank you. This was fun.
Adrian Autry, and thanks. We'll see you. It's the last one here this year at the Carrabba, so we'll see you back here again next year. So long for now. Bye.